You're live.
Good morning. We're just waiting for other thing to pop up. I don't know what's going on here for Instagram. They got to be all difficult all the time.
Hannah, let me sing while you're waiting.
Oh, please do. Please do. All right, let me just start this one again. I don't know why it's not letting me go live. Let's try this now. Oh, and 3, it's giving me a countdown too.
1.
One.
We're
Now we're live. Woo! Welcome. Good morning to Irreverent Knits. I am Tracy, owner of Low Country Shrimp and Knits, and with me is Judy. She is the fabulous owner of Maggie Loves Yarn, and it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been here, and
we had things going on. You had the thing of a lifetime.
I have lived a whole life, as you maybe if you've ever watched the show before, you realize I'm like. Never stop. I never stop, but I'm here now. And
well, tell what you did.
Okay, so I walked for 150 miles of the Camino de Santiago in Spain, in northern Spain, in Galicia. I single-handedly,
so proud of her.
Thank you.
I am.
My feet have absolutely been destroyed, and they probably won't be sandal worthy this season, but it's all right. And it poured. The heavens opened up.
We felt so bad.
Just the whole time.
No.
And it was, it got to be a joke because we were like, here we go. And so we just bought a different pair of pants and sucked it up. But yeah, we had a great time. But so coming up today on Irreverent Knits, we're going to talk about some fabulous new yarn that we've got, some styles that are coming in and out of the season, and some things that we've done that kind of reflect that, easy patterns to do so. Some another pattern that we've shown before, but we keep getting a lot of response from, especially on shrimpandknits.com. People want to know what the heck is this little bag that Judy made, and kind of some other stuff. So welcome, and let's go. We are officially now, at least down south, and it looks according to all of our weather forecast we're in the thick of it now. It's hot.
It's hot, and we've got the yellow cross of doom that we might get a tropical depression this weekend. My favorite is the cone of uncertainty.
Well, dun, 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 dun. That's pretty much my life. I live in the cone of uncertainty.
Here we go. Are we going to get a tropical depression? Is it going to miss us?
We don't know.
I think we're in for rain this weekend.
Hunker down, batten the hatches, maybe, or stay inside, or go outside. Anyway, it's chaos. It's chaos, and we're here for it.
We love it. I love it. I'm a weather junkie anyways.
I know. So you and Jim Cantori. She's like, have you seen Jim yet, Tracy? Have you seen him yet?
So did you see the meme that was really cute? He was standing there and he said, for all you new Floridians, I'm Jim Cantori. I'm here for your orientation week.
I love it. So, all right. So let's talk about some of the big things that are going on right now in the knitting world. Okay. So right now it's summer. So things kind of come to a real screeching halt as far as yarn stores are concerned. Because a lot of people put it down for the summertime, and
especially gardeners. I do my gardening in the summer.
That's exactly it.
I do too. My husband goes out and water what plants I haven't killed yet, So that's my extent of gardening.
It's terrific. She's got a chartreuse thumb, and it works for her.
I have a black thumb.
Okay, I was trying to be kind, but
no, it's a black thumb.
Yeah, no,
I am the black death of flora and fauna. But I kept one.
I am not. I love plants. Before I moved, I had bazillions and bazillions of plants, and then I had to start over again. And when I got here, and I always had like Xeriscape when I lived out in California, like all the succulents, all these beautiful plants. And when I moved here, I was like, oh, yay, I'm going to have all this stuff and have a little garden. And I have these wild garlic kind of hostile looking things. And I went to just prune some back, and this swarm of wasps came out at me. And it was like, ah! And I'm running around the yard like, and my husband's like,
what were they?
They were these big wasps.
Big
old wasps came at me, and I'm in the yard like screaming my head off. My husband's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm coming to kill me. And so that ended my garden.
Well, down here too.
Anything venomous. Venomous might be ready to bite me from underneath.
Well, it's not dirt either. It's either sand or clay, and things don't grow in that.
Yeah, but you can have your.
I've had this one plant now since April on my front porch. And it's alive. It still blooms. It looks really good every day. Every day. And I brought back a huge coleus plant that was on sale. It's really gorgeous. Purple and green.
Very nice. Coleus is very beautiful. So anyway, as we're talking about, it's too hot. Maybe it's not. It's even too hot to garden for me, but maybe that's what you're doing. But let's talk about things that are really good to work on right now. Number one, socks. Okay, we are having this big sock sale on Jawal yarn. It is superwash. It's great. They come in these little tiny pieces, and there's a thread in the middle that's like a reinforcement.
Like Jack, a prize.
It is. You get a prize when you finish both socks. You get a prize in each of the colors. So, so those are always great. We have beginner lessons here, but there's all different kinds of things that you can do with socks. You can do short socks. You can do long socks. You can do socks that start from the toe, that start from the I'm not going to say tail, the cuff, the tail, the toe, whatever, the top, bottom. And there's different heels that you can use. And people do have the one heel that they love, and they swear it's the only heel that works. But
there's more than one heel. I tend to use one heel, but I can do the others.
There's lots of choices, depending on the style, depending on what you like, and
depending on how it fits you.
And that too.
So and depending on how lazy you are, I don't want to pick up stitches. Okay, well, we have short row heels.
That's
for you.
Perfect. So lots of classes out there and lots of YouTube videos. And I mean, if you are looking for some instruction sorry, I know there's a glare back here. If you were looking for some instruction that is really good, there was a knit along recently that Stephen West had that was some socks. Andrea Mowry with some really great instructions out there. So there are really good.
Socks aren't hard. Once you know your measurements, and I show you how to do your measurements, and then we talk about it, and then it just becomes second nature to do them.
Yep. And so once you've done one or two of them, you do know, I know I'm this size. I need to cast out, 62 stitches or something for my size, and then those types of things. And then it just becomes fun. You're not carrying around a ton of yarn. Sock yarn is usually not heavy.
Do it by the pool.
Exactly. Small enough it's not sitting on top of you, and you're like,
a lot of people take socks to the pool.
A lot of people do. So those are great projects to work on too. And you can look at three different kinds of ways of making your socks, whether you use them on double points, which a lot of people love. I hate. Judy taught me how to use 2 9-inch circular needles. That's my preferred method. People use magic loop. So again, find a way that works for you.
And the flexi.
Oh, the flexi flips. That's right. I was kind of think of those. A lot of
people, you know what? More and more people are like, let me try those.
They're great. I have them here if you want to come to the shop and play with a pair to see what they work
for a while, but now they're really going.
Yeah, they're excellent. So try them out. See if there's something you like. This is something that has been popping up a lot to what I'm seeing on Ravelry. So people are making a lot of things with stripes this season, but not just stripes, things that are like solid stripe and a little more fluid stripe. And here's the one project I'm working on. And I'll show you some new yarn that I got with this. This one is just a simple, super easy project that I'm now literally can put it down, pick it up. I know exactly where I am every time without anything.
That's cute.
Because it is literally just, I'm using the yarn that we showed on the last, it's Moondrake is that plant that yells at us in Harry
something
Potter.
I learned in 17th century British lit and never forgot.
So I showed you this last time. Okay, so this is Moondrake, and it is going to give you Bubble, which is this kind of yarn here, and it's got these little flubs in them.
Colors in this, I just want to eat them.
They're so fun. They're so fun. And so we've got this one that's got all the slubs in it. It's now hooked on a crochet hook. But and then we have the other one that comes with all of this gorgeous, it looks like spun cotton candy to me.
So is this the one you're using, this one?
Yeah. So I'm using this one in the lighter version of this.
I was going to say, this does not.
Yeah, no, I'm using this color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. This is called Unicorn Clouds. This is Misty is the color that I'm using for this little, wrap that I'm making here. Okay. So this is great. It's 900 yards, just like a tiny bit shy of 900 yards between the two of them because they're woven together in the hank. They're
when you see this,
it looks like there's not a lot.
We're like, oh, what do you do with this?
Yeah.
And then when you opened it and it was like this hank and that hank, it was like, oh, yeah, this colored. I just don't know what to do with it.
Well, we're going to figure out some ways, but we're going to show you today some things you can do with a nice mohair, which again is light to work with. It's not sitting heavy on you. And this bubble's great. It's nice and soft. It's got a little bit of, entertainment in each stitch because it's kind of got the slubs in it, and it's fun.
Just make you happy the
Yeah.
whole time you're knitting.
It's a super fun thing. So one of the things that I'm seeing everywhere is shake rag. This is something that Judy wanted to make for a long time, and she made it for a class that we have and for herself. And we've done it in 2 different styles because my stepmother saw it and goes, I need that. And I'm like, okay, I'll make you one too for all that you do for our family. So
she did. She stepped up because I wasn't here and couldn't help you move.
So here's the one that Judy made. Okay, so you can see here it's called shake rag, and what she's done is she used 2 skeins of Knitting for Olive together, and then in the lighter ones that are the more see-through colors, it's kind of hard to see while I'm
there you
putting my
go.
hand
You can
through
see
it.
it. The stripes.
There we go. The
Yep.
striping. She just used 1. Okay, so she went from 2 skeins.
I did with the pattern.
1 skein, 2 skeins, 1 skein, and it makes this really cool top, but you can see through it.
You do wear a t-shirt.
Yeah, you want to wear a little tank top or something underneath that you can see
unless
through
you're
it.
16, and I'm not.
Yeah, or you're wearing it as like a top for a bathing suit or something like that. It's a little heavy for that, I think. But and so I wanted to play with the 2 different. This is also Knitting for Olive, and so I used the one color that's Dusty Rose for the solid lines, and then I used the same matching mohair, okay, soft silk mohair for the more translucent.
Your stripes are more prominent, I think, than mine.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think yours are definitely more subtle.
It was just the color I used, but I don't think so. I think it's the.
I think they pop.
Yeah,
they pop a little bit more with this style.
Well, you know what it is? It's reversed.
Right.
It's reversed because here's mine when I'm doing the singular. It's darker. Yours is darker using the regular and lighter using the.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's fancy. It's a fancy thing. We like it. Now, the only thing with shake rag, we do have it coming up as a class. If this is something that you're interested in, it's a great basic tee. I think it's pretty easy. It's bottom up, right? You did it from bottom up, and then you split for the sleeves. And then when you come up, the only thing is that I didn't like in this pattern is the way that they have you kind of get to the top. So I did follow the instructions for how you get to the top, bind off, and then you pick up for the sleeves. And I wish I hadn't. So I kind of pulled a little bit apart.
I did it differently only because I didn't understand the other way. And it's fine too. And actually I like it better because otherwise it's pretty short.
Well,
here, and mine comes down a little bit longer.
Yeah, what they did is they got to the point here where they've got you, kind of decreasing. And then you've just got this little bit here that you stitch together. And I tried to stitch it together in a couple different ways. And I didn't like how they came together. But then you had this whole open area where now it's just bound off and it looked weird. So I went back and I picked it up and I just kind of knit them both together and called it a day. So it's not the most beautiful of.
What I think I did was I left it. I mean, because I was this close to, remember it was just a few stitches.
Yeah.
And I left it.
Right.
And I said, I'm not going any further because, once again, I have no shoulders, so I have to play. And then I did 3 needle bind off and then I picked up and did the rest.
Yeah.
No, I did. How did I do it? Down here is where I picked it up because I can see what it went.
Well, because that's what you should have stopped with originally. It's only like this much space. If I had
stopped with that, it would have been up here on me and it wouldn't look good. So I do like I did. I do like how I did it.
Yeah.
I have to really aggressively block it a different way, I think.
Yeah. You know what? And quite frankly, had I known, when I was doing this too, it kind of ended on almost different seams because a little bit longer was how the front came out, the way that the yardage as far as the rows count was, and it didn't end. So I couldn't do a Kitchener, and I probably should have either kept one side going or cut the other side back. But
did you do Kitchener?
I didn't because it just was looking. I tried. It just didn't look right.
Yeah, 3 needle bind.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing over here was just kind of pulling them all together. But anyway, so that's our 2 cents on the shake rag. It's a great pattern though. It's really fun.
It's a good pattern. It does kind of leave you hanging at the end with the sleeves.
Yeah.
Kind of like
a lot of cool color combinations out there too. I mean, they have done it in the sample. It's like a light white and a brownish color when you see it on, and it's called Shake Rag, SHAKERAG.
It's because Modern Daily Knitting does, I don't think they did it this year. I didn't see anything up.
A retreat.
They do like a weekend of knitting in the hills at this beautiful private school up on top of a mountain in Tennessee. And the first year they had it, and it is called the Shake Rag Conference because where this place is, there's an art director that she Shake Rag Conference every year. And it's like 6 weeks, and you pick which week you want to go, and you learn anything.
That's
They
awesome.
have all these artists come and teach. It might be learning fashion, it might be dyeing, it might be
That's
you know
awesome.
sculpting. It's awesome. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. The food is fabulous. You eat in this big dining hall that looks like something out of Harry Potter, and they did a weekend up there, and it's called the Shake Rag Conference. And I think I said before why it's called Shake Rag, didn't I?
Yes, because you shake a rag to know where the moonshiners
Yeah.
are.
So this was their T-shirt for that weekend, and everybody was doing it. And I really didn't want to. I had other things I wanted to do. So did Norma. But then it's always been popular. But that season was what started the Shake Rag team.
Yep. So anyway, that's kind of fun. Some other things that we are working on here. So for years and years, I've heard of this baby surprise jacket or baby surprise sweater. Elizabeth Zimmerman wrote this like 67, maybe.
Oh,
I mean,
my friend Gretchen is an
long
expert in it.
time ago.
With 2 daughters and then sororities, and everybody's having babies when they graduate.
Yep.
She just whips one of those out overnight.
So it is the weirdest pattern, and you just spend the whole time going, how is this even going to work? Even when you're done with it, you're like, wait, you have to. So what you do is you just start off, and all you're doing is decreasing, increasing, decrease. It's like this whole thing on, and it's just got this wiggly, wavy pattern. And all of a sudden you fold it when it's done, and it creates this.
It's the cutest little jacket.
If
you need something quick,
the
this is
little
perfect.
tiny, cute little jackets, because you're working here, you see your increases and decreases in this pattern here, and it just is kind of this. It's crazy how this whole thing folds together. The only thing is that you do need to pay attention to your counting on the sides, because you go like 37 on each side, and then you work in the middle, and then you come out, and So I was a big fan of stitch markers, but you just have to pay attention. You do have to move your stitch markers, but at least that way it's sort of brainless.
So you do it back and forth this way. It's not in the round.
No, it's not in the round. It's a straight.
I see. So you do it on the sides as back and forth, and then the back part is just straight.
The sides, it's straight. And then you, from this straight pattern, you add, and then you add stitches. And then when you get up to one point, right at each side, you decrease, and then it's like, but it's in the seam. And then the middle, you just keep going straight. It really is crazy.
I see it.
But but this is how it comes out. All right. And so this is a fun material too. It's nice and light. Okay. It's spun right round. This is called Corset Factory.
Yeah.
It's Corset Factory and Squish DK. All right. And so just to show you how it plays in other things, I wanted this to have a little bit of visual. I wanted to play with the yarn to see how I liked it. And it holds up well, holds your stitches nicely. It's busy though. So if you have something with a lot of fun stitches in it, this is too busy for it. You'll lose your stitches.
Creep bed shawl, which is this with the bobbles, and it looks good.
So yeah, here it is in another, and then you're using, what is this one? Is this Aura?
No, it's
pretty.
What's this, spun right round?
Yep, this is spun right round. This is Corset Factory. Like I just said, in their Squish DK. Pardon my fingernails. I have been redoing my shop here, and every one of I had treated myself to some acrylics, just a little pampering time for myself. And that looks like, yes, that looks like.
Is it Mad Tosh? It's either Mad Tosh.
I don't think it's Mad Tosh.
Right.
I feel like is it Pressed Flowers by Lichen and Lace?
No, because I got it. You had them hanging side by side.
Oh my gosh!
Get it out!
Look at me figuring all that out. How pretty it is. This might be.
Oh no, it's Aspen.
Spa. There we go. Ba yarn.
Toasted
so this is
neutral.
Oh yes. So here's Toasted Neutral. Ba yarns.
Now I'm almost to the point where I'll stop with the pink, and then go with the white.
And so it's not going
to be a big shawl. It's going to be little. Yeah, because I don't want to open that other one. I'll give it back to you so you can sell it.
Thank you. Thank you. So Ba yarn, we've had some success in the past with them, but I was a little not happy. And one time I had tried to order one, and it took literally months to get here for one
this
order.
I thought would be a lot more. You'd see the
variation,
and you don't. So
once you get more space of it, though, it's only a couple rows.
And when I get to the other side and just use this,
it will.
And I'm very close because I'm only going to use up what you gave me. And then I've got enough to do like one more row of these. And
upcycling.
That's enough bobbles for me.
That's enough bobbles for anybody.
But actually, it's called a popcorn stitch, and it's real easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're
So
thinking about putting
I did
together.
this was my Ohio trip, and Pat was doing the same pattern on her Ohio trip,
Oh,
and we
see,
left at the
say
same time.
Ohio.
And it was so funny because Thursday night she texted me and she goes, "Have you guys left?" I went, "Yeah, we stopped for the night. We're in West Virginia, Charleston." And she goes, "So are we."
Oh, that's funny.
But not the same hotel. Not another Norma wedding.
That's where you run into people. So, okay. So I brought up Lichen and Lace recently. I'm not sure if I've shown you these. And I'm going to show you some fun moondrake because Judy's going to be playing with it. And we've got, we're working on a tessellated cardigan or tessellated vest. Robin,
pixelated cardigan.
Tessellated cardigan.
Oh, I'm working on the pixelated cardigan.
Oh, Robin's
You're
working
on the tessellated.
I'm actually not. I've said, Robin, please help me because I can't do everything. So Andrea Mowry did a tessellated vest. She's got a sweater, shirt, cardigan, all these things that are tessellated. And she used moondrake fua fua. And so it's really cool. It's this brushed cashmere. And it just feels so good. It's so
she's
soft.
In this color? What color
and so she's got navy. She's got a couple. Here's their electric berry. I did a little bit of a
You got a good
sample.
Tan? Use this.
Yeah.
This will be so sharp.
Oh, yeah. So here it is. The good thing about this brushed cashmere is when you play with it, okay? And I'm right now, I've been working on this mohair thing. You know, mohair kind of is like every few minutes you've got it all over you. If you're wearing anything, it's all over my shorts. I'm covered in it. This doesn't have that fluff in the air that you get from mohair. So the brushed cashmere just stays attached to it, but it is so soft. It is very luxurious.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that so much in the skein.
It doesn't, but once you play with it, it comes together.
It's like the knitting for Olive. It's just, people are like, "Oh, I don't know." And I said, "Yeah,
you got to play with it.
Brush with it. Just keep." And they're like,
keep
"Oh yeah, I can feel the lanolin coming out."
Yep.
So, same thing with this. This feels a lot better than it does in here. So
yes,
you just have to
got to play with it.
That's why we're
working on making all the samples, but there's just not enough hours in the day to get everything done that I need to get done.
I was going to finish that shawl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to knit through the hills of West Virginia like this because we go through West Virginia to get Ohio. It's like, okay, I'm done. We'll just I'll just watch you do this and look for the trucks.
Oh God. Well, it's making me nauseous just thinking about it. So anyways, with Moondrake, they've got a lot of really fun colors. So I went with, for this one, I kind of stayed with the theme of more of like the jewel tones and things because they're really big right now. So with the Fua Fua, we've got these colors here. Oh,
this color's gorgeous.
So we've got these, which are just kind of bright and fun, especially this electric berry right here. It's super fun.
That electric berry goes with so much. Not so much that teal you put it next to, but look at
dark spruce. This is like a green. It's kind of hard to see.
Look at it with those two together.
Which one?
Put those three. These two.
Oh yeah, they're super fun.
Yeah, that berry goes with more than you think.
It's super fun. And then there was this one, which is kind of the mauve color. Yes, it's very lovely. So, and then we've got it also, I know I pulled a couple of these. We've got it also in this. This is actually feels really good and soft and squishy. They call this one MCN for Moondrake because it's made with merino, cashmere, and nylon. So the nylon is going to give it a little bit of that stretch that you might be looking for in a sweater or whatever that you're making that you don't want to just... So these are great because it will give it a little more pull. It's not going to drag quite so much and it won't grow so much because of it. All right. So there are these colors and I feel like I have electric berry. Oh yeah, here it is. So I got, again, similar colors, but now in this one. So those are fun. Those are fun to play with.
I don't know where you want me to put this.
I don't know. Just keep shoving them in your way. Judy is going to be making, what's the name of the one we're making with this? This is Moondrake. And it's
Pixelated Cardigan.
Pixelated Cardigan. So this one is bulky.
And I'm using this one, I think. Yeah.
So these are just some other fun ones.
And they are bulky.
They are very chunky. 109 yards. So you don't get a lot with them, but it's definitely going to be, you could make a cowl, you can make a headband, you could make not quite a hat, but if you're going to use different things. So you need a couple of them if you want any real project. This is definitely not something you'd want down here in the South for sweater or a vest or anything like that, because you could wear it for about 37 seconds.
Well, you could put on like a light sleeveless underneath it.
This?
Yeah, like a tank under it. And then if you're outside at a festival or something, it'd be perfect. It gets cold.
It gets cold, but it just,
So
I mean,
you don't want to wear it every day.
I agree, but at
Make your statement, like-
$33 a skein for
You're supposed to be selling this stuff.
100.
Where are you going?
I know. Sorry. Yes, make all your sweaters from it.
Well, this only takes one skein.
Right.
And then
You
because
play with other stuff.
it's just, it's pixelated.
Yeah.
And then the rest is a solid.
Yeah.
So indulge yourself.
That's right. You're
on
worth
one
it.
of
You're
this,
worth it.
and then you can go less.
Well,
I
we
wouldn't say cheaper, but
no,
lesser.
just different, more, So we actually had someone come in a little bit ago, and they wanted to make a top, and we kind of played with different weights. So she used something this weight for part of it. She lives up north, and then we bought a few other things to merle together to make it so she could have these colorways, but also work with other yarns. So we threw in a couple that she could work together to make it a bulky weight yarn. And then that was good for a price point. But yeah, I mean, you want to make this in a sweater? God love you. I will order you as much as you need.
They had a sweater with that weight in the window over there on
over here, downtown, Old Town,
Yeah.
Buffin. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the new.
What's it called? In the middle.
In the center here?
Yeah, what do
town?
you call around?
Block?
No, what are we calling that? Where the grass is in the middle.
The grassy
Captain
knoll?
Woody's is. God, I can't
Promenade?
remember. Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, the center in Old Town Bluffton here. There's one hanging in the middle. Yes,
so-
no, I agree. I love a good chunky sweater. I want to be realistic about down here and how much you should get out of it. So anyway, those are things to think about. Here. And then, so we've got these other fun colors. Somebody was asking me before for a nice light, pretty yellow. So we did come up with this one. This one's Lichen and Lace. It is their 80/20 sock weight yarn. And look at how pretty. This is called Buttercup.
This
It's
is one of
nice
them too, and I
and
just took
light.
it. So
That's baby eggplant that they have there. And I've got baby eggplant in a couple weights. And then we've got this one here, which I like. This one's called I See Seashells. It's unwinding.
it's so pretty.
So I See Seashells. That one's Superwash Merino. This is worsted weight. We've got this one, which is Beach Glass.
What weight is that?
Worsted.
This is worsted.
Yeah, I think to me it feels like a light worsted, but this is
yeah, but I love
Daylily.
that color.
Yep, this is Daylily.
That's
Same
like a-
thing. And then we've got these that are, this is Clover. So if you wanted to play with the solid with some of these.
This is gorgeous, and a fall shawl.
Isn't that
would be
pretty?
Gorgeous.
Yep. So there's that. There's a few others we've got here. And then we've got our chunky, super bulky 80/20. So this one is called Pressed Flowers. And then this one, which is a little more subtle, is called Linen.
I bet that knit's gorgeous though, because there's such tonals in it.
And they're really soft. They're really, really soft.
They are.
So some things to play with. And, we're getting, if you want to start your Christmas knitting, now's a good time because, get out of the way.
Oh, yeah. This is this is a great one. Well, these are fast.
Yeah.
So now we're going to show you some patterns.
So yes, so let's look. So one of the next things I'm going to cast on is I'm going to use one of this weight, and it's called Pressed Flowers. It's this same colorway, but in this weight. And I'm going to, this seems to be a big one that a lot of people are talking about both online and when they come into the shop, is Petite Knits Anchor Summer Shirt. So here is, it's really cute. Top down, pick up the sleeves, really cute. And she's just a doll face. Okay. So with Petite Knits, as we've said before, because she is petite, she looks amazing in all of these things. She doesn't have quite the curves that a lot of us do. So you can always add and subtract. Okay.
She's not as
stitches.
voluptuous as I am.
She's not as curvaceous as perhaps we are. But this is a really cute, fun knit. And it doesn't require a super ton of yarn either. So I
No, and it looks like a real quick.
the challenge is she does it by centimeter and then grams and stuff like that. So there's
you
a
just
little
have to
bit
figure it
of
out. It's not
conversion.
hard.
It's not, but it only calls for
Well, if you take the what that yarn is,
Yep.
and you go into the yarn search of Ravelry, somebody will tell you how many yards.
well, yeah.
it is.
So the challenge is here. So she says 50 grams, is 110 meters. But then she tells you that you're going to need, like, let's say 500 grams. So you've got to figure out, well, 500 grams is 10 skeins times 110. So now you've got 1,100 yards. So as long as you're willing to just fiddle with that, and do a little math in your head, you're good.
I can do that. That kind of math doesn't scare
It's not too bad. You just have to really
me.
find
Is that
it.
top down or bottom
It's
up?
top down. It's top down. and then you
Okay.
pick up. And so they have like kind of raglan. You can't really see it here in the sleeves, but it's yeah. So I haven't started it yet because I wanted to get a little further on this bad Larry. And this is actually a pattern. If you are a Rhode Islander or have shopped in Rhode Island, there is Mermaid's Pearl is a great yarn store in East Greenwich. I'm sorry, lies. That was Skeins. That's in East Greenwich. This one is in Wickford, North Kingstown, Rhode Island. And she made the pattern, and it's so you can buy that under Mermaid's Pearl, but it is a unicorn cloud. So that's the one I've been working on. But it's not a difficult pattern at all. And then this is coming up next. But of course, it'll end up being like, and here's our fall project, which should have been started in the spring. Here I go. Yay, me.
That's okay. We're starting to get ahead. I'm going to work on that fall shawl.
Yeah. Well,
if the yarn comes in time.
So I finished the semester teaching, and then I was like, oh, Denise, who is our love here, she says it's an easy knit. Anchor is an easy knit. So she's done it. She's done all kinds of great things. In fact, I often steal her stuff when she comes in to take pictures of.
Stopped at a traffic light.
Denise?
Yeah, that one.
They have maybe. I mean, she's like, I'm just gonna work on this for a few minutes. But yeah, she says it's an easy knit. I believe her because she makes these things, quite a few things. So anyway, so I finished the semester, went immediately without 1 minute of training to walk 150 miles. Because that's what you do, right? And then I got back and I'm like, ooh, now I'm not teaching. I have 35 extra minutes a day. And I decided to rip apart part of my shop. And so
it's going to look good, though. It's going to be so good when we give you the final tour.
Well, we were little when we first started. If you were with us when we first started, we only had 300 and a little square feet. So we shoved as much as we could into this square footage. What part of the wall was all like a pegboard. And because I had no money, we just started with these little plastic ones. And I asked my father-in-law, who is wonderful at just hanging, and it's even, and I know it's going to stay. Like, he's terrific at that. And boy, was it anchored into the wall. Like, I'm trying to take it out. It's like, it's ripping out drywall, paint. So then I had this poor thing. It looked like it had all kinds of like chickenpox scars all over its body. I was like, oh. So then literally spackle, paint, see what's still fuzzy, sand, spackle some more, spackle really third time, rip that out. Then I took the door down and I'm like, oh, I like this without the door. And then I'm trying to move this door around, which weighed so much, it literally bruised up my entire hand. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should get some help because I forgot I was at 25. Like sometimes I'm like, I can do this. And I'm like, oh my God, probably should have asked for help, but then you have to wait for people. And I don't want to do that.
Volunteered.
So. You did. No, I was,
I didn't abandon her.
No. I just like to just do it myself because then I'm like, nah.
My job is to wait till you're almost done and go, do you need help? That's my husband.
Is there something I can do for you?
I do that to my husband all the
time. All right. So one thing that I don't do is crochet. I did when I was young. We learned on granny squares. That was what I was taught, was how to make granny squares. And then we would make granny square blankets for our babies, and we would make little granny square this, or that's pretty much all I made was granny squares. But I can do it if I have to do it. But I'm always want to go, I should learn this. And then I go, but I want to do all these knitting projects. So I've tried to give a little more love to crochet. And the way that we have done so is I am now working with this group. The company is called Burl Crochet, Burl Crochet. Okay. And he made crochet hooks for Low Country Shrimp and Knits. So you'll see this little guy here. There's a little octopus on all the different sizes, and they are smooth.
Look at these two colors together. It's just gorgeous.
Aren't they fun? So nice and smooth.
What makes me almost
want to.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah. So nice. Like I said, and they're ergonomically correct ones. So they're supposed to be the people that are like, my hand hurts so much. Well, this is supposed to help.
Yeah, because they're little, they're really
a little
thick
bit wider.
Right here.
They're a little bit wider, and we have all the sizes. So, and he brought me this cute little stand. So look at how cute
it just really looks cute when you walk in.
Yeah. So here's this cute little stand that he's got with it. He's even got one. So if you've got micro needles, you can put it in here and then tighten it back up. And then you've got this case for throwing a teeny tiny one of these little tiny guys in. So if you're making mini crochet things with these micro needles, or I actually use this all the time to help me if I've dropped some stitches.
I do too. I use a crochet hook.
Yeah, so I throw that in there, and you just kind of, you kind of throw it in like this and then tighten it up. And now you've got a little extra room and a little more ergonomic
If you drop a lot of stitches.
if you make a habit of losing a lot of stitches. So yeah, we've got these. Check them out. I will ship. We've got cute little shipping containers for them. But yeah, so Burl Crochet. We got a little tapestry needle case just to kind of try out him.
You know,
He's
I
local.
have something like that, and I love it because I put all my little needles in it.
Yeah, you got me one, and I love it too. Yeah. But he's local. So this is something that we're trying to promote small business and trying to stay local for our shopping. So this is a good thing. You got to join us in helping support. They're really cute, really cool. Sorry, crochet or C?
Crochet.
Okay. Judy's got a couple different classes coming up through us. And then we're going to talk about Judy's kind of exciting news. So this one,
I have exciting news, apparently.
she has exciting news.
Here.
So she made this cute
This
little.
is called the Regina.
I can't.
Regina.
Regina.
I know. I just call it
Regina makes me uncomfortable when you say that. You're making me
Sorry.
uncomfortable in my work
Sorry.
place here. Let's get, isn't that one fun? So
This is so fun. It looks like Art Deco, and it is so easy to do. And believe it or not, you start with the I-cord loop.
you're kidding.
Nope. You start with that, then you pick it up, and you do these. And then when you're done doing the band, I'm sorry, here, let's start here. You start with the I-cord loop. I'm never making this Vanna. You start with the I-cord loop. You really do.
Okay.
And then you pick
I'm
up
gonna
3
show it up
stitches.
here
You
too,
do
so
the
that they can see
band,
the I-cord
and then
loop
you
here.
do the fan, and then you do, and then at first the pattern scares you because it goes, now take your number of stitches and multiply it by 1.65. I'm like, okay. And then you subtract it from the numbers
Your
you already
age.
have.
Hey, oh.
Yeah, your age. The number of toes you have on your left foot.
And your star sign.
Yeah, and then that's how many stitches you have to pick up. And so, like for me, I had to pick up 35 stitches. I had to increase 35 stitches.
Okay.
And then once you get that, then it says now divide it by 5 and subtract 1. And I'm like, why do you subtract 1? And then that's how you do it. You know, you knit, and it's done from the inside out. So you're actually knitting. So if I had 20 on here, so it was 20 completely. So it divided because it ended up being 100 stitches or whatever. So
when you
knit
get to that one,
19,
then you purl.
purl. Knit 19, so you can't screw it up.
Can I show
It's
the inside?
just plain, yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's just obviously much easier when you're knitting in the round instead of no one wants to purl in the round. So here, and then you
turn it inside out and attach the fan.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's going to be a class.
Yep, we got that one coming up. We the reason that we the impetus for this was we were doing our hat drive for chemotherapy for the infusion centers in Savannah, here in Bluffton, in Hilton Head, and up in Beaufort. And so between April and May, we had 235 hats come in, and I mean 235. It's
I know they were great, and you know what? It was so nice that we could do that because we hadn't turned them in yet. And a lady came in from New York. They were visiting, and she was talking about how her knitting group was doing it for a friend because their friend had been in the knitting group for like 10 years and she'd battled cancer all this time. And this was her last. She said, "This is my last time. If it doesn't work this time, I'm going to give up." And so I took her over and I said, "Take a hat to her."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's why they're made." And she just couldn't believe how that we would do that. I said, "Of course we would do that.
That's what this is for.
And it was so neat to say, pick out a color she likes. What's your favorite color? And it was pink. So we found 2 pink ones for her. And it was so sweet.
So sometime when I'm done painting and putting this chaos together, we are going to, my daughter and I will drive to the different places and drop them off and get them on the hook.
We made so many friends from people.
No, it was terrific. People were so generous. And I had people mailing them. And I had so many of my friends that donated money to put yarn into the basket so people could take those and knit from that. And I mean, all of it just was, it all got used.
And so this is how I said, "Oh, I've done this hat before." This hat is so fast. You can do it in a day or two. And I've done it when people have come down to visit and they go, oh, I like that hat. And I'll make them one before they leave, while we're sitting there talking on the porch or whatever. And so we got to talking about different kinds of hats. And I was telling them about the book Literary Knits that were named after different books. And so this wasn't in there, but it reminds me of Daisy Buchanan.
Yeah.
Isn't this something Daisy Buchanan
little
would
Gatsby.
wear? I mean, really.
Yeah,
real
absolutely.
Gatsby.
It's fabulous. It's a fabulous, very sassy hat. So we are going to still collect hats because we did find there was not only a need, of course, for the hats, but people had a need to make something that mattered. And so there were people that were like, I've been waiting for this, or I've been making hats and had, really nowhere yet to donate them. So we're going to keep the campaign going. And so whenever the basket gets filled, we will then deliver it to the infusion centers. So, if this is something that is near and dear to your heart, we are going to keep it going. So it will be available, for that.
We may. I talked about one lady. She goes, we've done the hats in our group and we're looking for something else. And she was a cancer survivor from down there. And I told her that my other group used to do something called the love hearts. And you can do them so it's shaped like a heart, or you can do a square like this that simply has a heart in it. And the Nico units like to use them,
hold them
because the mother tucks it inside,
right, smells
and the baby can smell her, even though she can't touch her or anything because he's in, an incubator or whatever. And then they trade them out.
Oh, that's nice too.
They beg for them. They absolutely beg for them. So, I said, do something like that. She goes, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we can also, those things are great. And we still do knitted knockers. So if you are interested in the knitted knockers program, there is a link on our website, shrimpandknits.com. They are very, very specific about the types of yarn you can use and the pattern that you use to make it. They have a knitting pattern and a crochet pattern that are available for free to download, or I have it and we can get it to you. Those are great. So
and that's always ongoing. All of these are always ongoing.
So
it's not like, oh, did I miss the deadline? There is no deadline.
No deadline. Whenever you feel like making it. So Stash Buster. All right. So this is something Judy made a little while ago now.
Several years.
Yeah. And it literally is just cute, adorable little colors from her stash.
And it's a bag, not a hat. The way you're holding it looks like a hat.
Like a Rastafarian hat.
Yeah.
Wear that, or Smurf. No, so it's a cute little bag. And every time we have it displayed here in the shop, people are like, oh, what is that? And I've gotten several emails of like, what is that pattern? Because we are having this class. So I know I'm putting you on the spot. Do you remember the name of the pattern? If you
slip stitch bag or something like that.
It's on my website. So if you go into classes, upcoming classes, it's in there, and the link is in there to Ravelry.
Well, it used to be that when yarn reps would come to stores, they would have just a little tiny mini skein of each colorway, and they put it on a big chain loop, and you'd
they
hold
still
it
do that.
And look at. Do they
yeah,
still
they
do
still
that?
do that.
Well, this woman I got a phone call and somebody that said, oh, call her, she would know. And this was a woman who was a yarn rep that lived here in Bluffton, and she had died, and the son wanted to get rid of stuff. So I would always go over and take it and then, do something with it. Well, this was a loop of all these colors.
That's fun.
I know. So I thought it wasn't enough to do anything with except something like this. So I laid it out and did it. And it was, but just whatever you got left over. I mean, you know what? You got 5 yards left over of a. This was. I don't think this was. I think this was more worsted, but you got. You've been doing a lot of socks, and you've been doing a lot of stuff, and you've got
just a little bit of
leftovers. And even when we do the class, we'll tell everybody to bring their leftovers and throw it in a pile.
Yep.
Let's
choose from it. Yeah. Yep. So because we still get them. Hold on, I'll grab them. We got some new stuff coming out from Barocco, and Lang, so my rep Karen sent me these to look at for the fall. And here are a few of them. I tossed them in here for the same reason. So there's always a reason that we were like, hey, does anyone have any scrap of this or scrap of that? And so this is what they send us now, are these little sample skeins. Okay. Not enough to do damage with. They'll send, sometimes Lang is great because they'll send a full skein. So will Barocco. If I'm like, I don't know if I want to, kind of make that. Juniper Moon also, a lot of the knitting Fever, that's the company that I work with. They'll send full skeins too, which is great because just a tiny little bit, you can't play with it too much. So what still seems to be hanging on is this chainette style. Okay. So this is Lang,
it's coming back.
Harmony. We started off here in the shop with Dash and Wizard. And those were my first two skeins to play with and sell. And Dash, the first year that it was out, I couldn't keep it in stock. And then I ordered all this and then it didn't stop selling. So, we still sell it a little bit here and there. Same thing with Wizard. It was huge, flying off the shelves, then it stopped. But it just feels like a lot of stuff that's new is this chainette style. So here's Lang Harmony. I am not going to stock this unless somebody needs it. If there's something that you're like, I love this colorway and I can't find it, I will order it for you and I can get it here within a week. I'm just not going to keep it on the shelves right now. We'll see what did the world saying? What's the internet saying?
Not much about that. I haven't. I was on top of a mountain all weekend. I didn't have. I had
know
spotty.
you're like all things Ravelry in this world.
I know, and I wasn't. It's really funny because we stayed with my dear friends Kevin and Tracy, and they had a retirement party because they both just retired and everything, and we had 5 million parties to go to.
She's a socialite.
My
she should warn her.
My granddaughter graduated from high school, so we had all that. But their internet is spotty, so most of the time we didn't have any wire service much to do.
So she's been too busy. She hasn't started any crap with anybody on the internet, which I find boring and kind of rude.
But this is what is funny because most of the time our phones barely worked or whatever, and we didn't care because we just kind of let's just unwind.
I barely looked at my phone the whole time.
Yesterday morning at 5 a.m., both our phones went off at the same time, and I rolled over and I went, oh, the internet came on. Because we were going to sleep until 7 and then get around and leave slowly. 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Like,
we're home. We're home. So again, this is a new Barocco. It's called Hearthside. Hearthside here, same thing, chainette. Okay. This one here that Judy's been kind of fondling.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Magnolia Lang, same thing.
I bet knits up really pretty.
Well, it's got.
I bet it's got something that makes you go, ooh.
Well, the colorway is kind of interesting. The colorway is interesting, but it's got exactly the same feel as Wizard. So that's that. And then they've got this new one, which I don't know. All the ladies in the knitting group were like, "Oh, I would love that for a border," and I'm like, but
it's not me.
It's not for me. It's very sparkly. It definitely would make a fun, like if I had little kids, my littles would have loved this as something bright and sparkly. It's not for me, but again, any of these things I can order for you. And Lang and Barocco, they get here like literally. Universal Yarn was here 2 days after I ordered it the other day. Here is another thing, Wool Addicts. This is now called Desire, and it is. So it is this very fluffy, brushed mohair kind of thing. Doesn't sell well down here in the South, but I can certainly I can make a case for it. Like it's really fun. It would make a great hat. It would make a great.
It's thick mohair.
It's thick mohair, and it's really fun to play with. So those are kind of what's coming out in the fall. Also, Wool Addicts. This is called Move 8. Not a colorway that I personally would love, but it's definitely something that you'll be seeing on the markets soon. Fortuna we talked about. This is a new one. Lang we talked. This one is very soft. Judy said she might want to play with it. They're saying anti-felting finished. Anti-felting finished. I don't know. Is there anything that you can't wash and dry it? I don't think. Oh, hold on. No, it's got these.
It won't felt in the washer.
I guess not. So you can wash it, machine wash on cold. Use detergent for wool wash without softener, but it does anti-felting finish. So I'm guessing it's not going to give you all those little nobody wants pills. The pills. Those,
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. So I think maybe we'll play with this and then beat the tar out of it.
Run it over a couple times in the parking lot.
Yeah, set it on fire. Like we've done that. And
sorry.
This is why we can't have nice things. Where is our producer?
Producer, right in the bar once.
Producer, come fix our set.
I did. I don't really want to talk about it.
Okay.
It was bad.
So Judy's exciting news, and I don't know if I'm even supposed to say this, but there's a company that's come out and asked her to come teach some classes.
Well, it's a shop. It's not a company.
It's so great. I'm so happy for you.
They asked me to send some class ideas for their retreat.
That's so great. Are you kidding?
But now I'm doing all this homework. I got to write it all out. And they're like, you'll only teach 3 classes, but you need to send more than that so that you might get selected.
Yeah, but
that's
that's so cool.
Yeah.
They probably have heard of you know, my shop, and they were like, "Oh, we need to be a part of that. So we're just gonna steal her girl." Steal, just
Yeah,
steal
I
your
probably
girl.
won't get chosen, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to do all this work, and then I'm going to be ticked. Did all this work, and then chase me.
Well, the good news is most of the
Hi,
stuff.
Unwound, like you a lot.
That-
No, it's a great shop in Blowing Rock, North Carolina.
Blowing Rock. Never heard of this place. So I do want to say it's some kind of sad news. We have a lovely shop up here. It's down here, I should say, called Coastal Knitting, and it is in Beaufort. And they had some absolutely wonderful people. And Janice, who is the owner, she took it over 3 years ago. She just closed the shop. It is always sad to lose any local yarn store because we're all
on it together.
Community. We're all a family here, and so I was sad to hear. But I've talked to her. I actually got some new furniture through her because I was like, oh, well, now I can put some in my
It was nice of her
shop.
to reach out to
Yeah,
you.
no, she's been terrific. So she and her husband decided to retire a little bit earlier than they had planned, and so she was looking at purchasing a farm out in North Carolina and kind of doing the farmstead.
Oh, I didn't realize
bit.
that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. So she went recently. She and I have been in communication the whole time to look at it. So, good for her. She has a couple goats, kind of a thing.
Do it.
Yeah.
When you retire, you do what you want. And that's like my friend Tracy retired. And, I was up there and they had the retirement party with the girls on Sunday, along with Father's Day. And we went out and did some stuff so that they would have. We came home and we were sitting on the porch because her daughters I both had in school, so it was good to see them and their husbands and talk with them and stuff. And here's Tracy. Her name's Tracy also. Jumping up, doing this, running in because the grandson's in there. So she runs in there. They've got a puppy. She runs back out and she runs back in. And Kathleen and Amelia are sitting there. And I went, your mom's going to have a hard time slowing down. And they went, yeah.
You kind of get into it, though.
It takes a while.
Well, the farmstead thing. So my favorite Aunt Janice, they're in Massachusetts, and they've had this beautiful farm forever. And so my uncle was like, we have piglets. And so I wanted to hold them. And he said they would not want to be held. The mom would not let me. And so I was rude of the mom to not let me hold her piglets, which the mom was the size of Egypt and she probably would have killed me. But
probably
they have farms, and my aunt has the most gorgeous gardens, absolutely gorgeous gardens. So if that's your thing, but go for it. It's really wonderful. All right. So somebody says hi, Judy, on us. We've got a lot of people that have joined us for today.
Who's saying hi, Judy?
I think it's my daughter. I think it's Sunshine. I think that's my daughter, Lena.
Oh, no, I know somebody named Sunshine.
But we have Kusha Babouche, Grouse Ridge. That is my aunt. And Meg Ferber and Hess 2484, Hazel's Daisies, MEHM 824, Knit Bear 31, Ms. Jaff, MD5 GMK, Seastern, Erica Lynn 610, Dream Weaves by Wendy, Tony Rader, Boss Castle Yarn, Reynoso Rosario, that's my friend from California, and Simon Says, thank you guys.
Simon Says. Hey, let's talk about the marker dilemma that the one woman had. The stitch marker dilemma.
Talk to me about what you're talking about.
Silicone markers. A lady on Ravelry showed it, and so just passing this on.
Yeah,
we sell the Coco Knits ones, and they're metal. And they're magnetic, and you can pick them up or whatever. You got some here?
Where's my little sheet? Here it is. It's right in front of me.
Okay, which are great. This woman had always used the silicone ones. She pulled a pattern, a project
so like the silicone
out.
Ones like this.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can tell because they bend. This one doesn't.
This one does right here.
Yeah.
See this one that's holding all of them?
She pulled out a project that had been in timeout for a while, and stored during the summer. The silicone markers had disintegrated into the yarn, and she was able to get most of it out, but one had kind of like even melted into the yarn, and she wanted to tell everybody as a
PSA.
Public service, PSA. So you might want to be careful and and invest in good stitch markers, either the metal ones or the dangly ones.
Yep. So our favorites are the Coco Knits, and Judy actually got me obsessed with these darn things because they're these tiny. They have all different sizes. These little tiny metal guys. They do stick with magnets. They have all of the all of the things that you can, throw it on your bracelet, throw it on this
Yeah.
ruler, and they stick everywhere. So they're terrific. And they're easy to pick up when you knock them on the floor, or your dog knocks them on the floor and you're like, oh God, where are they? Everywhere. And then you just with a magnet. They're terrific. But remember, a lot of people, and maybe yourself too, I don't have an attic. Well, I do have an attic now, but it gets hot up there in the summertime. And so if you're storing anything that's plasticky, I mean, it gets ridiculously roasting hot in the summertime. Things melt. I mean, that's just the nature of.
I had never heard of that. Neither. Most people who said, I've never heard of that, but now I'm scared.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know what kind of yarn she used. You could find it on Ravelry, the thread, but it was like, good to know. So we carry the metal ones.
Yep.
Which is real good.
Yep. Coconuts are great. The other one that are easy are these that look like little, it's kind of hard to see, but they look like little light bulbs. They're these little metal ones that look like light bulbs. They're super cheap. They're easy to use. The only challenge that some people find with these is when they dangle, right? So you can flip them between your needles when you're saving that spot. But sometimes people wrap around the bottom of, let's say, the light bulb, and you're going to have a ladder in your knitting if you're going to do around it. You have to move it so it goes straight.
You know what I use these for? I mean,
when you
like
drop a stitch?
No, well, I use them to mark, which is because I'm doing garter.
Right.
So rather than as stitch markers.
Yeah.
Because of that. I'll use them when I'm counting stitches and I'll put it in.
Yeah.
To mark the front of you can see the front that's the front side since it's garter. I use it if I've dropped the stitch.
Yeah, that's what I have here.
And I grab it to hold it till I get there.
So that's the stitch I dropped
But as
right
a
there.
stitch marker to hold as I'm knitting, I don't usually use them.
To hold as you're knitting. Explain that. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like if you're doing a chart, I don't use them up here as stitch markers.
What do you use there? The coconuts ones?
Yeah.
The little circular ones? Yeah,
I
that's
use
what
the
I do
circular.
too. That's what I do too.
But for everything else, I do use them when I'm catching stuff.
Yeah, they're good because they're
counting.
tiny and they're pointy and they, it's like a safety pin. It just looks like a light bulb. So those are really good as far as that, and they're really inexpensive. The coconuts ones a little more expensive, but they're definitely easier. You're not going to get your laddering that if you've got other stitch markers like the fun dangly ones. They're really pretty. They're great as end of row counters, I think. But you've got to be careful because if you're going around them, you're going to have a little bit of a gap every time you go around it.
And like light bulbs. I was teaching a class one day and the woman literally had a quarter and she was flipping it to head and she was flipping it to tail, then back to head, and then back. I'm like, what are you doing?
She's just counting a row?
No, she goes, well, the heads are the right side and the tails are the wrong side. And I, Tatty, let me show you. She goes, no, don't mess me up. I said, watch. And I put this in right side. She goes, oh, the light bulb went off.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then I noticed she was telling everybody, let me show you something good. And people are like,
yeah.
We've done it forever. But thank you, Tatty.
So yeah, these are great things. And with these, I find that people that are crocheters use this style a lot more. The reason for that is you can throw it into the stitch. And when you get to the next row on that side, it's easier to move the stitch up in that
Yeah,
case.
they use us more than they do the round stitch markers.
Yep. So this is something too. So especially crocheters, if you're in a project and you be like, it's in timeout ad nauseum at this point. If you put it in a hot space, there is a chance of these melting, and you wouldn't think about it.
Be very careful. These can break very easily too.
Because they're plastic. They're not as rugged as the metal ones, but they are. A lot of my crocheters tend to meld to that. The other ones that I really like too are these kind of neat. They're triangles. I only have the tiny ones out here in this bin.
I don't see
they
them.
are coconuts.
They come in all sizes too.
Let's see if I can put it down in front of a color. It's backwards here. So
I know you've only got the white.
I know I've got white here. This is not
Here's
very
another
helpful.
one.
So yeah, so they come in different sizes. I have them in more like neutral colors here, but those are great too because they hold your stitches. But again, you're not going to get the laddering. It's going to show you because you want to use different stitch markers. If you're going, all right, every time I hit this stitch marker, I need to make one left, make one right, or whatever, and you need a different beginning of the row, which I've made that mistake, and then just keep going and going. I'm like,
and you're using. I've done some really neat things lately with the colors that are in the Cocoa Knits because if you're knitting in the round. And you've got several repeats. So you're using stitch markers in between. Then I use a triangle to show that I've finished the round rather than the circular. Then with the circulars, I'm doing with the sister cow. There's like 3 repeats, okay? But then within each repeat, there's 30 rows of the chart. And then you repeat the 30 rows. So I use the different colors in between on the 30. Then when I get done with that 30 section, my stitch marker is red. Then I know I'm starting the new next section. So I read new. So I go back to the beginning, red. And then I go to the next section, red. And then I know that I'm at, oh, there's a black one. The triangle. So, color work. I don't just throw them in. You can kind of plan how you want to do it.
The other thing that's big right now, and it cracks me up because I have one and we're making some classes out of it, is the emotional support chicken.
Yes, I want to start mine.
I told you months ago, I'm like, I want one of those. And Robin made me one.
I didn't want one till you got yours. And it's like,
now she has chicken envy. It happens. It happens to the best of us. So
foul. It's just foul.
It's just foul. So one of the things that we work with that the emotional support chicken knitting class is all short rows. And so if you want to learn how to do short rows in a fun project, that's a great project. Now, short rows.
Some of them are so cute.
So adorable. Short rows, though, okay? You can't put them down because short rows, you pick up, you wrap and twist, or you slide, depending on German short rows or whatever they're calling them or however you're doing them, you go back and forth and you don't finish the row, okay? So you need something to say, okay, go this direction next. Because if you put it down in the middle of it, you're going to pick it up and be like, oh my gosh,
in other words, don't say, well, I'll do this during the commercial.
Yeah.
You need to set aside
Focus.
a block of time to do
so
it.
This is a way. So these are little clasps. We sell them here at the shop. They're really cheap. But they're usually used at the end of like for sweatshirts.
They're cable locks.
They're cable locks. So you put them on the end of your needles, and then we say like this one means go, this one means stop, or whatever. The different colors will tell you which way you should be going if you have to put your knitting down.
I use that a lot. I use it a lot because I'm so comfortable with short rows now. I don't mind putting it down.
Right.
But in short rows, if you pick it up, it's very easy to go the wrong way because you've turned.
You're
you only go so
between.
far and you turn. And so you have to have that to know which way you're going.
So these are great.
Unless you're a genius, and I'm not.
So
I've been told you're not quite.
Yes, I know. Denise just popped in and said she wants a chicken. Now we all need emotional support chickens.
When do you want to start?
So you guys, maybe we do that as a knit along, a little chicken. Little chicken. So yeah, emotional support chicken. We also have crochet classes. We actually this week we're doing emotional support crochet camp for our littles. We got our little camps going on right now. Still
if you look online, on Facebook or look online, those classes were so cute. Those little muffins were so cute.
Oh my gosh, the girls that we had here as we're about to wrap up, but the girls that we had in here, the three of them had me dying laughing. They did these little crochet bumblebees and they finished the project over the 2 days that they're here. And they were so fun. They were like, listen, I'm listening to them while I'm painting.
That's all you got to do is just sit and listen
to
to
my God.
Talk.
They were so fun.
Girls
They're like,
talking are so
is
funny.
a bee a mammal? And going through and Lena's like, no, a bee is not a mammal. And they were talking about like, maybe we should, use red. What if we do the stuffing, but we make it red? So it's like bee guts. And do we put a butthole on the bee? Like,
are you sure it wasn't a boy talking?
Oh my God.
Something my sons would have said.
We were dying laughing. I'm like, they just had me the whole time. They were like, three girls. They were all, it was just so much fun. It was so much fun. So we still have room and a couple camps left.
Well, it's like when we were looking for, we drove up to the end of our complex one night because we thought we could see the Aurora Borealis. So I had my phone out and I'm looking through because they say you look through at the phone. So I have it out and I'm looking. And these two junior high girls were so cute. They always ride their bikes and their scooter around the neighborhood. They're standing up there because it's nighttime and it's their first day of, summer break or whatever. So they got their phone out and they're looking too. Beside me because they see me looking. I went, do you see anything? She goes, what are we looking for?
That's okay. My full daughter, who is now a high school student, she comes home. She's all bruised up. I'm like, are you all right? What happened? She goes, fell off my bike. Do you want to see the video? And I'm like, you videoed yourself falling off the bike? She goes, well, I didn't mean to. I was texting and biking. And I accidentally, while I flew off the front of the handlebars, I hit record. I'm like,
body cam.
She
had the body cam on.
It's a good time. Good time being teenagers. So anyway, thank you.
I have to brag because she just sent me the text.
Okay.
My granddaughter just graduated from high school, 18. She's just a go-getter. She got her license in cosmetology. She's an assistant manager at Bath and Body Works. And earlier this week, she started Charles Penzone. I don't know if you ever heard of him. It's a very elite salon in Central Ohio. And I mean, I consider it as the pinnacle. So she had an interview there. And I said, even to get in as an interview for an 18-year-old, you got something, girl. So they had 3 interviews. She did the first one, she got through, then they did the second one. And the third one was yesterday. And the third one was not an interview. It was a performance interview. You had to style.
No stress.
You had to do a makeover.
Yeah, well, of course.
You had to do something else. And you had to do a closer. And she's like, what's a closer? And I said, I think, you tell them what the products were you used and how you did it.
Yeah.
And she said she wouldn't know till the end of the week. She just texted me, I got it.
Yay!
So
That's
Jalen, I'm so
Congratulations.
proud of you, honey. That's so good.
Yay! Perfect.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Congratulations. And
Sorry,
all
I
the
had to look
graduates,
at it,
everybody out there. So come join us. You're going to see some big changes here at the shop as far as the way it looks. We're adding a whole bunch of fun stuff. And until next time, which God, at this point this summer, I have no idea when that will be, but thank you so much for joining us.
We're glad to be back.
Yes, we're glad
I
to be
think
back.
we're going to try Tuesdays for a while.
We'll try. We'll see.
Because I'm too lazy to drive in on Fridays.
And there's that. Yeah. So shrimpandknits.com. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out. And thank you so much. Happy knitting.
Bye.
And now and bye.
I had to tell that. I got to tell her she's on.